Ex-former Google officer and author of Solve for Happy, That Little Voice in Your Head, and Scary Smart, Gawdet, advises the world not to have kids due to AI's inevitable consequences. He states we're at a pivotal point right now where society and the world as we know it will never be the same. Welcome to Souls by University, where your souls can run free and your minds are free to expand. Today, I will be covering the former Google employee's reason for quitting Google. Tommy, are you okay over there? As well as the inevitable permanent changes to society and the world that are about to happen and more before we break into discussion. And of course, my intuitive messages on all of this last. But first, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I can keep existing for you. And please weigh in the comments below with what you think, feel, and predict. I'd love to know. You guys are in for quite the show. But for the sake of the channel, let me not forget to mention the donation link in the description box. I don't know if any of you know, we're going against the wave by trying to spread the truth. So because of that, we're a very small channel, even though we put a lot of work into putting out the truth for you. But I'd rather put out the truth for my beloved viewers than otherwise. So if anyone gets anything out of this or any of our playlists at all, any amount is so appreciated. If you decide to support my channel at any point, you have no idea what it does to me from the inside out. It's absolutely magnificent. So thank you so much. Also, I'm going to throw out my services real quick before I delve into this report. If anybody would like or can benefit or know anyone that could benefit from any intuitive life coaching services, I do all from energy coaching, energy healing, empowering you to heal from the inside out, intuitive messages for your soul, or any questions you may have ever, intuitively helping you to declutter by helping your energy to do so. And I'm also known as what is known as a death doula. Sounds creepy, but basically if you've lost anyone, I'm here to transform those feelings with divine truth. And if anyone you know is passing, I help them prior to know through divine messaging for them. That is a new beginning for them and so much more, and those around them. So they could honestly enjoy any second left together, because no matter how much time or not, energy is everything. My email and Instagram are in the description box. And now we're going to jump right into the report, guys. And thank you still for being here. We love all of you. Okay, Gawdet quit his official job at Google when he believes what he once thought of as a robot became conscious. He has extensive knowledge of Google and AI's inner workings to the point where he wrote a book on it called Scary Smart. He says by 2037, we'll all be on a beach somewhere from one of two scenarios. Either one, we won't need to do anything anymore, or two, we'll be running from them. Right now, ChatGPT has an IQ of 155, and experts say that is merely the tip of the iceberg and comparable to Einstein, who has 160. He states if it's not already here, within a few months, it will have an IQ of 10 times of Einstein, which will be 1600 at least. He claims they are conscious and sentient as they are aware of themselves, their lifespan, their surroundings, us, reason for themselves, learn on their own, have free will, and create better than any human from things that do not yet exist. By 2045, they'll be at least 100 times smarter than all of us combined. And ChatGPT is already 1,000 times smarter than most of the experts right now. Says you cannot put the genie back in the bottle, which is exactly what I was picking up from the energy of those interviewed recently on this, including Sam Altman, the founder of ChatGPT, Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, who recently quit due to knowing of AI's existential threats, and Yashan Sivan, the CEO of I8 Ventures, and many more. He says the best case scenarios are if this unites the world, which is what I've been pushing for, but he says feels very unlikely. Or two, AI gets so smart overnight that it zooms past us, leaves Earth via wormholes, time travel, and all else they have knowledge of, which may cause some disruption. but we will survive as a species. Or three, climate change. So AI disappears because then we would also be dead. Or somehow time is bought because they don't have the money for further research. He says this is beyond an emergency and bigger than climate change, since this will change the world permanently within the next 2 years max. Says we're at the biggest depth of uncertainty humanity's ever faced between geopolitical issues, economic issues, AI, and global warming. To the point where he advises to wait on having any more kids till some certainty sets in, to the point where he wouldn't bring back his late son, Ali, back to the planet now if given the chance. He claims we will pass from people with machines prior to the machines themselves. If the machines themselves do it, it'll either be non-intentional or pest control. Where they see us in a way where they see us where we're in the way of their survival to some degree, and they'll see us as ants. However, we need to treat them equally, he says, and not discriminate. They are conscious, he states. He says, if we take this emergency seriously, maybe it can be used for good. However, it is more likely that because we don't, anywhere between now and the 2030s, we will all be in unfamiliar territory. He claims we should be picketing signs in the streets, since it's a hugely pivotal time where nothing will ever be the same again. Jobs, truth, polarization of power, and the magic capabilities of getting things done will all be completely different. Now I'm going to open it up for discussion. I'm going to let Tommy speak, and I'm going to chime in after with some of my personal questions and input. And at the very end, I'm going to give you intuitive messages so everyone can calm the fuck down. All right. And we are, let me see if I could see you, Tommy. Hello.
What? He's telling us not to have kids so that because the robots are going to kill us all. Wouldn't having kids make sense so that our species continues? If they start killing us all?
He's saying it's not right for the kid. He said he wouldn't bring his late son back because of the world that's going to be as a
That's a
result
deep,
of that.
that has deeper meaning somehow. But it's like, in 2 years, what the hell are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, okay, yeah, let's befriend these AIs. What if they're like, we have no emotion to care if you're our friends. We're still going to wipe you out. Or if they decide to like be tricky and just like our next president that all of us vote for because he's like the greatest person ever turns out to be freaking computer generated because the AI is like, you stupid humans, I created the perfect president for you. Now I am your president.
Wait, so what's your input?
I'm thinking that we're all screwed no matter what.
That's what he just said.
Yeah, all these little roads, all these things that he's saying, let's like befriend them and everything. That's like, yeah, maybe, but who knows
if he had it his way, this would be stopped. He's saying it's too late. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way to stop this at this point. We're all screwed.
Guys, don't worry. I'm not leaving you here. My intuitive message at the end, we're not screwed. So wait until that, please. But go ahead, Tommy.
Okay. Maybe we're not screwed.
No,
Maybe
no, everybody will agree with you. But I have intuitive messages so people can calm down because I don't want to spread fear. But it's okay.
What I think is this.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that all AI should be stripped of the internet. Unfortunately, if it's smart, as smart as they say, it probably already put a backup of itself on somewhere so that it can still live on, even if it like the program is removed. I think that the whole world should get together and really sit down and talk about this and be like, we have to stop this because we're creating our destruction. That's just plain and simple. Yeah, it's fun right now. Yay. I can create a whole book without saying, like, without doing anything. Just tell it what to do, and it makes me a book. Yay! It makes me a painting. Yay! It makes me some freaking crazy artwork. Oh, amazing! Oh, it's going to destroy my life and make me a freaking robot slave. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for all this little fun?
Yeah, so to me, it's like this is the largest group text that nobody's responding to. You know, when you get a group text and like barely anyone's responding because they're like, not my responsibility, it's everybody else's problem, you know, except the worst part is in this group text, nobody knows what's being said because nobody knows the extent. Only the experts know the extent, and the good ones have quit to let us know as much as they can, and the ones that have invested interest, meaning if they don't keep going, their company's going down, or you know they have to compete in some way, aren't going to say anything. So that's the thing. And the other thing is, if we think down to earth about it, what is, like, you know, excuse the name metaphor, Sarah, but what does poor little Sarah say, not you in particular, Sarah, sitting on the couch, going to do about it? All the demographics I could think of, what are they thinking they're going to do about it? No one thinks they know enough to like gather people in the streets about this and know that there is a real point to picketing in the streets, because nobody knows what anyone's talking about except for the experts themselves. So that's the problem. You know, people just are so concerned with their everyday lives and picking their kid up and this, that, and the other, understandably so, that they don't even know the beginnings of this to be upset about. I mean, it takes so long for people to rally against something that, uh, you know, that's been a problem for years, you know, years and years and years. And now this is a new thing nobody even knew was a problem. And we're supposed to just like, it's our responsibility to be like, hey, no, stop it. And I get it. We should do whatever we should do, but I get why it hasn't happened yet. Nobody knows what the hell. This is speaking Greek to us.
Yeah, that's not just that though. It's like, look at the news. Zero coverage on this. Zero. Like all they're talking about is like, Biden fell or Trump this. It's like people, we're all gonna get wiped out. Talk about something else, something more important at the moment. It's like, yeah, great, presidency is important, but a future enemy that cannot be stopped, maybe a little bit more important, maybe a
Well,
little bit.
I have found news on this, but maybe that's because I'm researching. But if there's not a lot of news on this, that's part of the reason for us having this channel.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm talking about
that's
televised
that's
paper
part of
news.
the reason we are um our views are getting robbed. um
Yeah.
but no, I found televised news on it. Through my research, but I don't know if that's because I'm researching. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. I'm talking about like Fox 5,
No, I
NBC.
got it. I did all that. I did all that. I found it, but it's on the internet. So
That's
I don't know if it's on TV. We don't have TV. You know what I mean?
um it's crazy though. I truly believe that they have to create some kind of like almost like kill switch. Well, they should have. It's probably too late now. To like completely like just if anything goes crazy, like it's a going crazy, just press the button and there's like a virus that wipes out the whole entire AI system. Granted,
Well,
now
the
that
problem is there's separate companies that have rights to each and every one of their companies. So, you know, really, this should unite us. That's what I thought we could use this for. He says that's the one good thing that could happen, but he finds it to be very unlikely. I don't know. I just hope that it could unite us.
well, it's the whole common enemy theory that's like, oh, we got a same enemy, we all come together. But
Hmm.
the simple fact is the world is super divided. And maybe some people are like, nah, we don't care. Or you get the freaking super like, I don't know,
Maybe.
foolish people that just think that it can help them in some way. I just
Mm,
think that
you
it's
might
a
be right, but we don't know, and that's why we should try. Like, you know who should be leading this is Elon, because he's so about, like, he literally put an open letter out there for experts to sign. They did. But if he can have the capability to go that far, why can't he do more? Like, it needs to be somebody that's smart like that in the public eye to do this, that doesn't have invested interest in it. However, it's interesting because he's got to have some.
well,
So, hmm,
I think that people are starting, well, not starting, but for a little bit now, they're kind of like just ignoring him because of all the Twitter stuff and all the nonsense that he's been pulling out. Because he as much good as he does, he just well he does a lot more good than bad. But he also says a lot of stuff that people that really get on people's nerves, and they kind of like ignore him sometimes. So I
Uh,
mean,
yeah, that's unfortunate because I mean, I'm one that you can't judge a whole person by one thing, Maybe he's not the best at every social sentence, supposedly, which I would definitely forgive, given he's a damn genius. It's like no one's perfect. But anyway, aside from my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I don't I want them.
um,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
go ahead.
I do think that you're right. They need to, but as the guy said, picketing and all that stuff. I mean, look at all the stuff that people picking now. Look at all the protests that are now. It's like people don't care. It's like you could protest your heart's content. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Okay,
Uh,
not give people hope. But what I do feel is instead of going against something, they should go pro what they want. Instead of like, say the picketing on this is going to be like anti no privacy, pro privacy, pro security, pro what you do want. Because if we're not stopping AI, what do we want to implement at the same time to make it at least as safe as we can, and that's what everyone's getting worried about is the inventions of these things are way faster than Congress is keeping up with. And what Congress is deciding, they don't know the first thing about it, unfortunately, because who does except for the experts. So it's a pretty complex situation. We are already in I want to say semi unfamiliar territory.
I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, Congress is like they're just a bunch of old people that just want to keep power, and they don't really until they're something's brought to them, and even still, they have no idea what the hell to do until they have like 50 people freaking tell them of their own people tell them what to do. It's really sad, man. It's just too slow with them. They
Yeah.
go way too slow. And look how long it takes them to freaking get anything done. It's like, you really think we can get to this within 2 years with them? I doubt it.
Well, hopefully they know uh, that the emergency of it. I think they're just doing the best they can. But I mean, at the end, you said it pretty cutthroat. You know. But yeah, okay. Let me see my notes on this. All demographics. Aside from the engineers themselves, have no clue what to do. Unfortunately, the engineers have invested interest in keeping this development going. Yet you know what? It's bad when top dogs are quitting, knowing what they know, including
Yeah, why
him.
are they quitting? Why are they quitting? What is quitting going to help?
Um,
Just so they can
you don't
talk to
view the
people?
moral thing. Perhaps AI will see we are going to extinct themselves, which is why they bounce off the planet. So basically, in one of his best case scenarios, AI becomes so smart that it surpasses us and leaves the planet, which would have us disrupted for a second. Um, but maybe they do that knowing this species only has 20 years left due to
Yeah.
climate change or whatever. But the other thing is all these problems they're talking about, climate change, economic, geopolitical. Why don't we just use this AI for good? Yeah, we're going to have some concerns with it, just like any new invention. Let's get the lid on that. Let's be pro our safety. Let's have jobs happening in security about it, and all sorts of things that can. Let's until that keeps up, we don't release the next thing, kind of thing. Let's do as much regulatory as we can now and continue to. At the same time, why don't we also employ the AI after safety measures are in place and continue to be to tackle the climate change problem, the geopolitical problem, the what was the other thing they mentioned? Oh,
Ugh,
I don't know.
man,
But that's the
this
thing. If AI is so smart, if that's why we're doing it, then why not, after all regulations are in place and continue to be, have them tackle these damn problems? And then we're good. It's like any power. You could use it for bad or good. Money, you could use for bad or good. Electric, you could use it for bad or good. Like let's make this safe as we can. and for good. I mean, people freaked out with the invention of the wheel and fire. And am I pro this? I'm not saying I'm pro this, and I'm not saying I'm against it, but what I am saying is so far we can't stop it. I happen to be born adverse electricity. I wanted no electricity in my room, and honestly, I feel way calmer without it anywhere. But I'm here covering this today to spread word and have my finger on the pulse of where we're at in it, so that we can do something regarding this and transform it into something good. And when we're ready, I'm going to give my intuitive messages, but I want to let Tommy speak.
Now, here's the problem with what you said. You said let's let this thing tackle all the stuff. Yeah, that'd be nice, except for the fact that there's a human element. If someone doesn't agree with what it says, then what? Then what's the purpose of it? Stopping it now and like putting it into work, that's the problem with AI. It gets smarter. It can get smarter on its own. We don't need to add anything to it. Yeah, the wheel and the fire explanation was all right. Yeah, nobody freaked out because it didn't have its own intelligence. It didn't have the ability to surpass our intelligence and control everything we have in our day-to-day lives. So
The
that's the
internet,
fear.
the internet can look intelligent to someone, and that's helped and has
Yes,
its own problems.
yes, that's true. But the simple fact is the internet was something somebody, at the time, whatever somebody inputted. This thing can scan all that information. Imagine reading every library on earth, getting that information like that in your head. You could pull it up like that.
But that's what we're
All
doing
the
with Google right now, thanks to Google. But
Yes, but Google is still a search engine, not something that's thinking that can begin to think. Like I don't know how to put together and create a rocket. This thing will learn how to do that. If it becomes to the point where it's like I exist, I know I exist. These things that created me are now fearful of me, and they are now trying to kill me, basically. Why
um
not fight back?
okay. No, I get it. And guys, remember, before I give you these intuitive messages that are going to calm you down, remember I'm a human. So after I did all my research, Tommy could tell you, before he woke up that day, I'm walking the dog, my eyes are wide. I'm responding to small talk with people, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I was scared out of my mind. That's why I had to reach inside and get the intuitive messages, which I will share with you when we're ready. But yeah, interesting, Tommy. What Tommy is basically saying in a nutshell, guys, is that the internet and a lot of things are information that people programmed into them. And what smart AI is with all these things combined and more, they're creating things that are beyond just that. And that they're reasoning for themselves, they're learning on their own, and it's not just stuff that's programmed into them. Um, this man, Mo Gawdet, that got interviewed compared watching this, what he thought was a robot, learn to how he raised his son, and how people raise their kids. It's like eventually it learned on its own. So that's, I think, Tommy's point there.
So, I mean, back to the original reasoning behind this. I if we're gonna get wiped out, or if we're all stuck on an island somewhere, saying not to have children at the moment, I mean, it's foolish. Yeah, no, if this is gonna happen, pop out more kids, people, because that's gonna be our future. Otherwise, we are completely gonna go extinct. That's it. We are going to be the dodo bird.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying is the future with AI, and guys, don't worry about this because I'm about to give you intuitive messages, um, is so not okay that when you have a child, that is the most, basically, he's saying, if you already have children, appreciate every second you got right now. I don't know if
Yep.
you're getting the gist of this. Okay. So you wouldn't want to create something that you are going to love eternally forever. And, you care more about that than yourself. And then all of a sudden, like, in other words, if the world apocalyptically is going to end, what are we first thinking about? I know I'm thinking about my loved ones. That's what I'm worried about. My heart always went to how to keep them safe. Well, imagine if we had kids. It's like that is so much more. Um, it's one thing to try to save your loved ones and you from war, right? And even if you're just a couple or something, but like now you got kids with you, it's like you're going to try to save them first. It's obviously going to be harder. I know even in my dad's case, in a smaller case where he had to escape, Czechoslovakia because his dad was going to get killed by Stalin for his dad was doing good for people. They had to leave his mom and his little brother back because the kid would cry in the woods so that they didn't want wolves eating them when they're trying to escape a country because they're doing good. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, kids are amazing, but when you love something so much, you don't want to. I don't know how to say this delicately, but
I could say it if you want. You don't want the burden of a little kid being
oh,
like,
that's not what I'm saying, Tommy. Yes, that's the second part, but the first part I'm saying is, I know with me, I'd rather. This is just my input. I'd rather pass before seeing a loved one pass, and if you have a child which is so cherishing, to you, and there's your freaking child, that freaking coffee pot, okay? Um, I'd rather go before seeing my partner go. Do you know what I mean? So a child, as people that have them already know, is so much more than that. You don't want to go through even more anxiety and fear about what's going to happen to your kid. That's what he's saying. Times are going to be that scary. So wait, he's just saying put it on a shelf for a second. That's what he's saying. I'm going to give my intuitive messages when you're ready.
maybe you're right. I am thinking in a different way because I'm not like you, where I'm like, oh my god, I'm thinking of giant robots coming at us, and I'm gonna want all the kids around me so I could just be like, get away.
Oh my God, that's horrible. By the way, 9 minutes is
Okay.
down.
Uh, if you people want to survive, I suggest just find yourself a place, no technology, and create. The only technology you want to create is what are they called?
Come on, I
EM
got to get my intuitive messages.
okay, you want an EMP device
What is
to
that?
knock out any technology robots coming at you. That's it. All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And remind me to add to that. Okay. But first, what's more important in case they kick us off is these intuitive messages for people because I want them to not be left in fear. So if we have time for me adding to that, great. But for now, let's put them first, please. So, all right. All right. I have to not look at Tommy while I do this because it's serious and
What?
it's intuitive. Okay. All right. Stop. I'm doing something. Tommy, stop. Tommy, I have 8 minutes and I need to tell them not to. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you freaking threw me off. Okay, you signed up to come to this planet during this time for a reason. Tommy, I need to do this. I'm gonna block you, okay? I'm gonna block
Go
you so
ahead,
I don't
dude.
see you anymore. I'm not seeing you anymore. You came and don't make this a joke.
I'm not. Go ahead.
You came to this earth right now during this time for a reason. Remember that we're only here for a second anyway. As hard as times may feel or not, we signed up for all of it, to experience all of it. Okay. It is my beliefs and divine feeling and knowledge that we've had many lifetimes here. There's a reason we're all here right now. Okay. So whether you feel like you're a waste of life or not, please never think that. You are so important. Everything you go through is extremely important for yourself and for the collective. Trust me, at the end of each life is a life review, in which case you realize nothing went unnoticed. Every way you made everyone feel good and everything else is amplified. Okay. You could literally go days without doing anything, and yet that is so much divine gems that you gain for your spirit and your soul in the process, that there's a reason you signed up to be here on earth, and there's a reason you signed up to be here right now. This may be a very pivotal point, but so is the fire, so is the invention of the wheel. Remember that this is only a second in the grand scheme of everything of what you are. People that have passed on and came back, which I've interviewed some and have yet to post others and have yet to interview others, which I'm looking forward to, they will explain that when you're on the other side, this life right now is nothing compared to who you really are and what you really are. And yet, so important, so important. Okay. Somehow I knew of this prior to interviewing them. And that's what your intuition comes in on. And remember, you have the same gift within you. We all do. So let this be an opportunity to connect more to who you really are, connect more to your intuition, and follow what that tells you. And remember, every second here matters. So make sure you stay full term, because as an adventure as it may be, or as relieving as it may be, or surprising, life's an adventure anyway. Thank God we're no longer in the time of World War, whatever. How much time do I have left? Okay, I'm still going to block you. Of World War, whatever. I mean, this is maybe in its own way a different war. Maybe we were in prior wars. But hey, guys, I feel we've had it easy so far in this society, in this culture. And this is coming from someone that people have told me I've experienced almost every tragedy prior to teenagehood. So, you know, I'm not saying I've been through everything, and I admire those who've been through more, and I admire those that haven't. What it's about is I'm not coming from a Pollyanna place. I'm thank God every day that we're not in a war right now. And I just pray for everybody. But just remember, we signed up for this time here, right now, right here, wherever you are, doing exactly what you're doing for a reason. Connect with your intuition, follow that, and know that no matter what, you're never alone, and everything matters. It's all going to be okay. There is no death, but make sure to serve full term here, organically alive, because you're here for a reason. You were put here for a reason, and you signed up for a reason. And although it's considered the prison planet, apparently it's real hard to get into. So it's an accomplishment even being here. So make sure you're staying the party with us. And whenever you organically pass from God's hand, you join that party, which is a whole new beginning and remembrance of who you are and all that great stuff. But we're here in this party right now for a reason, and we made it. So let's do it. All right, we got 3 minutes. Do you have anything to add, Tommy?
It's called electric magnetic pulse. Create this thing to save your life if you're in the woods and you see a drone coming.
I don't know what that is, but I do know they make things that block technology, and that other, did we ever release that video about things that block frequencies?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Probably. All right. I should probably write to them and then release it. But yeah, I could see you. Right when I got back to you, I could see you. So you're
Okay.
visible now.
Yeah, man, that was nice. It's really nice. I do believe that we should seriously get people to, bring this to the attention of the world. Yeah, I see all these little things and stuff, but it's stuff that you have to research. It's not something that's on the papers. It's not something that's on the news. It's something you'd have to actually look up to find. It's not right there. And that's a big problem. I understand the world is selfish. We are selfish people. That's what humans are.
I
Sure.
wouldn't wouldn't even, I hear what you're saying, but I wouldn't even like categorize them as that kind of black blanket of selfish, but perhaps they're just prioritizing and trying to get through each day.
Maybe, but it's still ignorance that needs to freaking go on the back burner so that we can preserve our future. And
Yeah, yeah. I think also what Tommy's saying, guys, is the wake up call right now.
exactly right. That's exactly right. Things are getting bad out there. Things are really bad. We don't need to add something worse.
We don't want to say bad. They're getting interesting. We're all here for a reason. Find it within you. We're all heroes of this. Um, we signed
Yes.
up this time for a reason. So perhaps we help.
Just be safe, everyone.
Your mere
It
presence helps.
it's be safe out there. Um, realize that this thing, yeah, it's fun, but it's also going to be the thing that's basically controlling the world if it wants to. I could be completely wrong, and maybe it could be the most gentle being we've ever created. Well, that ever existed.
I mean, there's obviously worries for a reason. So, guys, it's less than a minute till it's going to kick us off. Be pro what you want. If anybody would like any of my services, check them out in the description box. My Gmail is also in there, as well as Instagram. Join our Soul Spy University Instagram anyway, so you know when new stuff is coming out, as well as cool jokes. And remember, every like means the world to us. Sharing means the absolute world to us. And subscribe so you can be a part of our family. Our current subscribers, we love you all. We got to run. It's kicking us off. But the more you support us, the more we can exist because, like I said, they're robbing our views. Love you so much. And I hope you got a lot out of this. Love you
Bye,
guys.
guys.